Hello, welcome back to another episode of Fidget Spinners. Listen very closely.
Can you hear the clout? I hate you.
That was like a great intro.
I was like, I wanted to see how long you were gonna take it.
Oh, if I didn't hit my finger, I would have kept going with it. Until you stopped me.
And me saying, "Can you hear the clout?" Was my indicator of, wow, this has gone long enough. And it wasn't even going for like 10 seconds yet. Oh. Welcome back to Real Talks and Fidget Spinners. Don't do it again. 7.
Ow.
You know, most of the time when we do like a ow, we're like slapping our own hand and then saying ow, but I actually hit him that time and I feel kind of bad. I didn't hit him hard though. There was something I wanted to talk about. Seth, there was something I wanted to talk about. Danger. Danger. I can't remember what I wanted to talk about. Danger. Danger. Going offline.
I don't think humans are supposed to be able to make that noise.
Not human, dude. Speaking of.
Go on.
I showed Grace the alien, or the black box Twitter conspiracy yesterday.
Oh, yeah? Uh-huh.
She was like, I don't believe it. She was like, that could be like anybody like sending it to his phone. And I'm like, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, really but that's still really weird though.
It is weird, and it would freak me out, dude.
Bro, I would not. I would call the police.
Honestly, I would go to the FBI and be like, hello, Federal Bureau of Investigation, can you please send somebody to protect my house?
Bureaucracy is a really hard word to spell.
Yeah, really. I always mess it up. Bureaucracy.
You know, I'm glad we're friends, because if I said that to anyone else, they would be like, what?
Really? It really is.
It's a really hard word to spell.
Think about it.
Bureaucracy.
Yeah, what letter is
So that's when you turn the walkie-talkie on.
It's like a hieroglyphic. It's just the knob for the walkie-talkie. Bureaucracy.
That's like
if we talked like that. If humans talked like that. Or if we talked in walkie-talkie talk, but without walkie-talkies, like to talk to someone, you had to be like, yeah, how you doing? Over.
Hey, bro, what's up? Over. Oh no, man, not much. Over.
Oh man, that reminds me of like a funny joke. I don't remember what it's from, but they're like, over what?
I'm sure that joke has been done many times.
Yeah, in multiple places. You know what I haven't talked about yet? I was going to talk about it in the last episode, and this is partially what I remembered what I wanted to talk about. My trip to Tennessee. Because I feel like that's important information.
Logan got really mad that Dolly Parton had a theme park.
Yeah, so like, okay, we go to Tennessee, right? The reason that we're going there is because of Dolly Parton's theme park, Dollywood.
Wait, that's the reason you went to Tennessee?
Well, it's just because like we needed like a destination. So they were like, yeah, why not there? That wasn't the only reason we went. But yeah, so what? What's so funny? You just like literally started laughing out of no. What?
I just thought like I was like I like kind of zoned out, and I was just like, man, what if he just punched me in the face?
Why?
I don't know. If you just like,
I'm glad you. That was funny.
You just like got mad that I wasn't paying attention. You're like, hey, just like rock me for no reason. Oh my god.
Anyways, so we get there, right? We make it to Tennessee. It was last Monday. We get there, and we pull up to the hotel, and it's like shadier than it looked online. And so we go into the room. Like, we check in and we go into the room. And her mom was like, Yeah, we gotta check this room first. Make sure there's no bed bugs. And we checked. She lifted one end of the mattress and was like, "That's a bug. I don't know what it is though." And a couple years ago, I actually
Did you eat it?
No.
Oh.
A couple years ago, I had a problem with bed bugs. So I know exactly what they look like. Like, I've seen too many of them in my lifetime.
There used to be ones at my old school.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
And so, like, she's like, "Is that one of them?" And I walk back and I lift up the mattress and I look at it. I'm like, "Yep, let's get the hell out of here."
It's like, would you look at the time?
And so, like, but we arrived kind of late. We arrived at, like, 5:30. Mm-hmm. And so we're like, well, shit, how are we going to find a new hotel? So I, like, while her mom was, like, over in the front lobby, like, getting a refund, I was in the car calling up a bunch of different hotels, seeing if they had last-minute bookings for a 3-night stay.
Bro, you were on it.
I was really on it. But yeah, like, seeing that bed bug gave me legitimate PTSD. Like, I'm
really?
not even...
You were, like, triggered, really?
I started getting, like, really, like, freaked out, dude. Like, it was bad. Because, I don't know if you've ever had to deal with that shit, but it was, like, a whole year of my life. Because my mom was like, but the exterminator's too expensive. So we took care of that shit by ourselves. We eradicated those things by ourselves. And it took so long. But, so we had to deal with that forever. And then, like, seeing one again, I was just like... I legitimately had a nightmare about it, like, the night afterwards.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it's bad. So, like, I'm up calling hotels, trying to figure... And luckily, we got a really nice one. Like, the Holiday Inn. That shit was nice.
Hotel, motel, Holiday Inn.
Yes. What song is that from? Because I always heard it, and then I think we looked it up.
It's originally from, Rapper's Delight by Sugar Hill Gang. But then Pitbull did it in a song.
Okay.
Where he's just like, hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. Like, where it's basically Gucci Gang.
Because I remember hearing those lyrics in kindergarten, and they got stuck in my head for like a year.
It's really funny.
So yeah, we pull up to Holiday Inn, and then we eat Cracker Barrel for dinner, and then we go to bed. But then the next day we go to Dollywood, which is Dolly Parton's theme park, and I'm angrily texting Seth like, who cares that much about Dolly Parton that she has a damn theme park? Where's our clout? And she's worth like $200 million, dude.
I mean, have you ever heard the song Jolene? It's kind of a banger.
That's like the only Dolly Parton song I think I've like ever heard.
Yeah, me too.
And then like I heard we were like listening to her on the way up because they were like, let's listen to some Dolly Parton because we're going there. None of us cared about Dolly Parton. But so we started listening to Dolly Parton. It's not great. I don't like country.
I don't like new country. I like some of that stuff, sort of like.
I like the closest to country I'll get is Johnny Cash.
Yeah, I think that's how everyone feels. I mean, you ever heard "Devil Went Down to Georgia"? That song's a banger.
For real. But yeah, so we go to Dollywood, and it's hot, and it is more packed than I've ever seen Busch Gardens in my life.
Really?
I don't think they have capacity there. They have capacity at Busch Gardens. I don't think Dollywood has capacity because they were still letting people in. And there were so many people. The lines were so insanely long. So what happened was...
Well, I don't think Busch Gardens like ever reaches capacity.
Maybe not. I don't know. Because Dollywood was pretty big, dude. It was like bigger than Busch Gardens was.
That's wild. That's so wild.
Yeah.
Do you think she owns that?
Yeah, she does.
That's probably where a lot of her net worth comes in then.
Yeah. Well, that whole town that's around there, it's Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. It's a whole like touristy area that she built up based off of her clout. She built all that up because that little town over there, they experienced like a flood and like they lost a ton of jobs and all that kind of stuff. And she fixed the town with her clout, Seth. And she brought so many jobs there and she made it a tourist attraction.
Good for her.
Yeah, right.
That's probably where a lot of her net worth comes in though, because theme parks
definitely
make a lot of money.
She's a philanthropist. So yeah, we
Isn't
get
that
there.
when you have sex with dead people?
No. So yeah, and we're like about to eat lunch, and there's only like 2 or 3 places in the park that you can actually eat lunch at, and the one place is like this old-fashioned. Thanks. The one place is like this old-fashioned diner. Stop looking at memes while we're doing a podcast.
I can't believe it's not butter.
But yeah, so like it's like this old-fashioned diner in the park, and the line is out the door, and this isn't like a small place
to eat it like a shitty diner.
And this isn't like a small little like restaurant like a McDonald's. This thing is big, and there's a line out the door, and it is packed in there. And we're like, all right, so it's like 1 o'clock right now. If we by the time we get there, it's gonna be like 4 o'clock. By the time we get food,
For real?
it was insane. So we were like, let's just leave the park and then come back if we feel like it. And we left and we ate at Texas Roadhouse.
And you didn't feel like it, did you?
Feel like it. And like, so we go. Her mom was being a Debbie Downer. So we go back to the hotel and we're just like, well, what are we gonna do now? And your boy, Superman Logan, saves the day. And I'm just like, I was just like, I saw an arcade up the street. You guys want to go to an arcade? So me, Grace, and her sister, we went to an arcade. And my God, I don't know if I've ever talked about how much I love arcades, but I love arcades, dude.
Logan isn't allowed in Chuck E. Cheese.
You punched the mouse one time. He snuck up on me.
Did you know? We can't go into Chuck E. Cheese unless we have a kid with us.
Oh, that's a shame.
Dude, isn't it? Like, I just want to go play some skee ball.
Well, that's what Dave and Buster's is for. Adult Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, but the games at Chuck E. Cheese are a quarter a pop. The games at Dave and Buster's are like $6.
Not really.
They're pretty expensive.
But the place I went to was like less than $1 per game. It was nice.
Was it like, do they have like Pac-Man and shit?
And I filled it up. Because it had like the swiping card system like Dave and Buster's does, but they don't do it by points. They do it by actual dollars. So I loaded mine up. It was like $50. They had a deal where like if you did 50 or if you got a $50 card, you got an additional $15 added on.
Lit. So
I loaded up. I had $65, and my God, I went ham on that place. I love arcades. They're like my favorite thing. One of the things that I would do if I was rich is I would open up a classic arcade, like with a bunch of old school games in it.
We've talked about that before.
Because I think that would be dummy lit.
We're now going to be an arcade vlogging channel. Have you ever seen those?
No.
There's these guys and they have pretty good views.
There's another thing. After my Tennessee story, I got to talk about this.
They get pretty good views and they're just really good at like claw games and stuff.
I didn't actually talk about this with you. I talked about this with Connor. But anyways, so we go to the arcade. We have a great time at the arcade. It was a grand old time. I really feel like I bonded with her sister and a little bit with her mom. It was nice. It was a good bonding experience. So we go to the. We go back to the hotel after the arcade. We go to bed. It was nice.
Can I just say how much respect I have for you for going on a trip with your girlfriend's family? Because, boy, that wouldn't... Man, if I had a girlfriend... Well, any of my girlfriends, if they're, like, past girlfriends, they're like, yeah, you want to go on a family trip with me? I'd be like, no.
Yeah, well, I like her sister, and her mom's okay.
Well, I hate talking to people.
So, like, we go to... The next day, we decide we're going to go to the Titanic Museum, which is really cool. But we get there, like, when they open, and they're like, oh, you have to buy a ticket for a specific time slot. And they were all sold out until, like, 3 o'clock. So we had to buy, like... And they open at, like, 10. So we had to buy 3 o'clock tickets. And we're like, all right, what are we going to do until then? So we go to a wax museum, which the wax museum was super cool. I sent you some pictures from that.
It was... they didn't look very good.
A lot of them did. Like the Robin Williams one, I felt like I was standing next to Robin Williams. It was wild.
He's a ghost.
He is a ghost. Maybe that was him. But yeah, so we went to the Wax Museum, and that was super dope. And then we went out for a drive in the mountains. Because it was like, Tennessee's out in the mountains. And there was like a bunch of these like little stop-offs when you're like driving up the mountain, where you can like get out and take pictures and stuff like that. And there was one of them where you could like stop off and get out, and like there's a little pathway down to this like stream that has like a bunch of rocks in the stream, and I was like walking out into the middle of the stream, like standing on the rocks, and we got a bunch of cool pictures. It was just really pretty out there. It's like the difference between like mountain air and air when you live in the suburbs is crazy.
Oh yeah.
No smog.
It's really clean, yeah.
Yeah, no pollution. There's pollution.
You can smell the moonshine,
but not a lot of pollution. It was nice. And then by the time we were done with our drive, it was time to go to the Titanic Museum, which was really cool. There was this old guy in there, right, who was like...
Was he on the Titanic?
He was playing the captain. I thought he was at first, because he was that old. But he had this like really cool voice, and he was like sitting in the captain's chair, and he was dressed like the captain. And he was like telling this story about this pastor who like would like while the ship was going down, he would ask people if they were saved, and then if they were like no, he would be like, he would like bless them or whatever. And I was like, well, this is an interesting and strange story. But I
feel like that's cheating.
And then he stood up from his chair, and this dude was tall as shit, dude. He was like scary, but he was like 90 something. And so, but like he had like
he was like Merlin.
He had like a booming voice, and I was just like, whoa. And like he was telling this story. Apparently, he has a book. He wrote a book about his travels.
Can we read it on the show?
He was like, 18 years ago, they let me dive down with and visit the Titanic with James Cameron, and I was just like, what?
With that guy?
Yeah, and like even 18 years ago, he was still like 70. So like, and he was like, I've always loved doing thrilling stuff, and when they asked me if I wanted to do it, I was like, of course I do.
Like,
he was like
coke.
He was like, I went bungee jump. I used to be in a rock and roll band. I went bungee jumping at 60, and I'm just like, whoa, dude. And he's like, I still love roller coasters to this day. And I was just like, this man has lived. And he has a book, and he's like, I have a book. It's the first book you see when you go in the gift shop. It's all about my life and some stuff about the Titanic. I was just
Did you buy it?
I was about to, but it seemed really preachy, and I was like, eh.
Oh.
Because I was leafing through it. Which sucks because he was like, when you get to the chapter that's titled like barrel roll or like roll up. I don't remember. It was a weird, but he was like, once you get to that chapter, yes, it is a true story that actually happened. And I was like, well, shit, now I gotta buy it and read that chapter. But I didn't, and now I'm never gonna know what it is.
I'm sure you could order it off on Amazon.
Yeah, I forget. I think it's called like Diving into the Deep. I don't remember his name though. But yeah, the Titanic Museum was super cool. It sucks though because they don't let you take pictures in there, because some of the artifacts that they brought up from the Titanic, the people who discovered them put a copyright on it, so you can't take pictures of them. And I'm just like, but why? Why?
That's not really how that works.
Yeah,
but...
and it sucks because Grace and I were planning on, because they have a replica of like the big grand staircase that was on the Titanic, like that you see in the movie and stuff like that. And Grace and I were gonna get a cute picture on it, but they won't let us. It was really sad.
Heartbreaking.
It was heartbreaking because it was about to be hella cute. Anyways, so we do the Titanic Museum, then we do like a mirror maze kind of thing that we found, which was really cool. Okay. Where are you going, buddy?
Plug it on my phone. I'm right here. Continue talking.
Okay, so yeah, we do this mirror maze, and then in the same place as the mirror maze, they've got this like haunted house, kind of like when Busch Gardens does Hallow Screams, about zombies. And Grace and I went through that, and it was way scarier than Hallow Scream was. It was horrifying and very fun. And then that was the end of that day, and then the next day we drove home, and that was my trip to Tennessee.
God, you've been talking forever.
I had a really bad experience where I almost hit a lady.
Oh yeah, you talked about that.
I did talk about that. It was a bad experience. Long story short, I didn't almost hit her. She's crazy, and she yelled at me, and I drove away very angry. And it ruined my day.
My day is ruined.
So yeah, what I wanted to talk about, because you mentioned arcade vloggers, I went to Farm Fresh the other day, and I saw vloggers, dude.
Like a pack of them?
There was two of them. It was two dudes. They were dressed like hype beasts. They had like the joggers and like the Supreme shirts and like the dad hat. And I was just like, oh my god. And one of them was holding like the GoPro kind of thing, and he was like walking around with it. And they went to the workout supplement section. And I was just like, I've never seen anything more virgin than this in my entire life. Like, oh my god. It was, and like I was buying batteries.
You should have asked them what their channel was.
I should have like went to the craft section and like wrote down subscribe to Real Talks and High Fives, and like stood in the way of the camera.
Or just like go up to them and just shit on the floor.
They're like, whoa, dude, this guy you shit. They put in the thumbnail, person shits on floor. But yeah, and like I had never seen vloggers in real life before.
That's so funny.
And like I was buying batteries, and I was walking to the cash register, and I walked by them, and at first I didn't see the camera. I was just like, wow, look at these two virgins.
I saw it.
And then I saw the camera, and I was like, oh shit. Like nobody was with me. I was just like my arms were like, what?
I saw family vloggers. I saw a family vlogger at Toys R Us one time, I think.
Wow, that's crazy. Family vloggers, what's that? Is that like when it's like a family and they just
they vlog? Yeah.
Really?
Wow, crazy.
Well, I don't know if it was like something else.
Yeah, I need it. But
like when Syndrome was like, it's a whole family of supers. it's vloggers.
Yesterday, well, I don't know, whatever. this lady was trying to use our fax machine, and she was getting really mad because like I was busy, and she was like, "Oh, sir, can you come over here and help me?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah," and she was like, "How do you use this fax machine?" I was like, "Oh, the directions are right there," because like her purse was covering it. I was like, "The directions are right there," and she was like, "Then how do I use it?" And I was like, "It's like the directions are right there," and she was like, "I can't read," and then I completely like my whole brain shut off. I was like, I didn't even know how to respond. I was like.
Did she not read because she didn't have glasses, or just because she can't read?
I don't know. She just like cause I'm just like I'm speechless. She was just like, I can't read. I was like, whoa, what? And then
Who faxes stuff?
That's all. Like we have people come in and fax all the time, and it's really expensive. It's like $3 a page.
Dude, just email that shit.
That's what I'm saying. But
it's free.
But you get a confirmation for faxing, so I guess that's why maybe. But then and then she faxed stuff, and then she started paying for it, and I put in two pages because it said 2 pages on the sheet, and she was like, I only got 1 page. I was like, it says 2, and she was like, I only got 1, and I was like, okay, 1 page.
That's crazy.
And then she was just such an angry person.
It's like
I was so confused.
Before I got a job, I never had to deal with like angry people like that, but now I deal with them all the time, and it's really depressing because before I got a job, the world was beautiful. I mean, and now I see all of the filth.
It doesn't bother me. Like when that lady was so angry yesterday, I was just confused. It didn't like make me upset or anything. I was just like, wow, she was going through something.
I never thought having a part-time job would make me see the woe in the world.
I think you're just a bitter person.
Make me see the pain in people's eyes.
I think you're just a bitter person, yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not really bitter.
I know, you're pretty bitter.
It depends.
I think all your bitterness is hidden in your big nose.
Thank you. That's where I keep it.
So when you blow your nose, it all comes out.
Yeah.
But
some people, I don't know why people are the way they are.
The cool people outweigh the good people in my eyes. Like yesterday, I had this cop come in, and he was really cool.
It depends, man. Because well,
you work in food.
Well, that's also true. And I mean, I don't want to like, I don't necessarily always like making generalizations about like certain things or groups.
But women.
No, I've noticed like it's really weird because people always talk about Southern hospitality, but like when you leave the South, you realize, wow, people are kind of assholes down here.
Really? I mean, we're not even like in the South.
Not really, but like in Tennessee though, people were mean as shit.
Really?
Yeah. And I mean, like, you can't necessarily say that that's like all about, because I mean, it was a tourist area, so people from all over, but all the license plates that I was seeing were like Georgia, Kentucky, like all like southern places. Mm-hmm. There was like a few New York license plates scattered in there. I was like, what are you doing here?
You live in New York. But I'm sure, actually, I'd hate living in New York.
And like, I don't know, man. And it was just like, so I can't necessarily make that generalization about people from Tennessee, but definitely people from like southern states. They were just like really rude.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I mean, and there were some people that were nice, you know. There was like this one dude who like held the elevator door open for me, and he was like, "No problem, buddy." And like he had like that southern drawl. I was like, "Oh, thanks." But like some people most of the people that I had to deal with were just rude as shit. And I mean, that's not. But like, it made me realize like when I go up to visit Pennsylvania,
well, I mean,
I never have that problem.
People on vacation are usually stressed out and stuff
true.
Like that.
But I don't know, man. It's just like a lot of times.
I mean, that's just an excuse. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole. But
yeah, and but it definitely felt like, you know, people in the South were a lot meaner than, you know, most people.
I mean, I don't know. I don't go many places.
Yeah, I don't want to. I want to live in Pennsylvania.
I've been to like Ohio a couple times.
Ohio's not horrible. It's kind of empty. At least the parts that I go to, because my family that lives out there, they live in the middle of nowhere. Like,
yeah,
on a farm.
I didn't like how far away everything was.
And that's kind of how Tennessee was. There wasn't a 7-Eleven for 81 miles.
Mail has new messages.
That the little town that we were in was like the most like. That was like the biggest city there was for like miles.
That's weird. I couldn't do that. I could not.
It was weird.
Like as far away stuff is around here bothers me.
Cause like, you would be like on this big strip. It kind of reminded me of like, you know, when you go to the beach, it had like all those touristy shops and all that kind of stuff, and it's just a big strip of like tourist stuff. And then like if you just like drove for a couple miles in either direction, you were just in mountains and emptiness, and it's really weird.
Let's go move to California. You want to go move to California?
I actually probably wouldn't mind. I don't know. Because, like, California's one of those really politically charged states.
Yeah, I'd probably get angry.
And, I mean...
But actually, I don't care enough, really.
Yeah, same. But people are nice.
Are they? I don't know.
For the most part.
I've never been to California.
Like, if you go to, like, a coffee shop and it's just like, how you doing, dude? Namaste. And I'm just like, oh, thanks.
I mean, I still need to go to New York. You want to go to New York with me?
I would love to.
Because my family doesn't have money to come with me. And I don't want to go by myself.
Yeah.
That would be really scary.
I wouldn't mind going with you, sure. I mean, we're going to have to, like, get a hotel room and actually book a date and all that kind of stuff, but I'm sure we can.
I'd say we get something. I mean like a motel room, something cheap. Something like dirt cheap.
Because... And that's one of the things that I've learned from this experience, because I went to Washington, D.C. a couple of years ago, and I'm pretty sure that's how I got the bed bugs a couple of years back, was because my family tried to be a little cheaper with the, with the hotel and the expenses, but it made me realize you can't be cheap with a vacation. If you're cheap with a vacation,
it's not going to be a vacation.
Yeah, I know that, but if it's not a vacation, then why not at least? I mean, the Holiday Inn that I stayed at was $150 per night. We're probably going to be there, 1-2 nights?
That's too much.
That's not too much. I mean, especially...
That's too much for me.
I know, but I'm about to start making a ton of money. So
shut up. Well, I mean...
I am, though.
In New York, it's probably going to be like twice, 3 times that.
Maybe. It depends. Well, because in tourist areas, they jack it up a lot, and... I mean,
oh, yeah.
I was in a tourist area, and it was very... I guess spring break is one of their busy seasons.
Yeah. But spring break's different for everyone.
Yeah. So, I mean, but the prices weren't that jacked up. Because that was, like, the 3rd or 4th, like, nicest hotel that we stayed at, like, in that whole area. That was, like, at least in the top 5 hotels, and it's only $150 per night. Which I wouldn't mind that. Because it's not like we're going to be spending a ton of money anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's not like
I'd have to look up a lot of stuff, because I still have not... We're probably going to, like... I guess we could drive there.
But, I don't know, man. There's a lot of places I wouldn't mind living. I just don't want to be here for the rest of my life.
I don't have an issue with this place. I couldn't live in, like, New York. New York is probably scary.
How many times can I drive down the same road without getting bored as shit of looking at the 7-Eleven, followed by the fire station, followed by the new hospital that's getting built, followed by, what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like I look at that stuff every single day. And I mean, of course you're going to get bored if you're anywhere for too long, but I just feel like here doesn't have a lot for me anymore.
Yeah, well, I definitely agree. Like, that doesn't have what the market that I'm interested in building, my human capital.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like, in order to get the degree that I want to get, I have to go to UVA anyway.
And in order to get the clout that I want to get,
and that's like 2.5 hours away.
Yeah.
But then after that, like, I've got to find a job somewhere, which is going to be difficult.
Well, by the time we're moving out, the podcast will be making us millions of dollars.
Maybe.
No, probably not. Well, you know what? I'm staying hopeful. We're really gonna start pumping these out once we get really settled in.
Yeah, once we get our office, I feel like stuff will be better.
We'll be profesh.
For any of you watching this
here from day one
after the release date, like, once we have our clout and we get a ton of fans, and they're like back watching these old videos in like 2 years. You person 2 years from after this video, thank you. Those are noises that I'm hearing. Scary.
I don't think that picked up on the capture.
I watched a scary movie yesterday and it made me scared. The guy from Ghost Adventures, so like, he made a documentary about this house that supposedly like a big possession went on. The man, I didn't realize how much money this man made from Ghost Adventures, because he literally he heard about this weird possession and like these people moved out and he immediately bought the house once they moved out. And he owned it. And I'm just like, wow, if you can just, I mean, it's not like it was like a crazy nice house, but if you can just afford to buy, like, spend like maybe like $20,000-$30,000 on a random house, good for you, buddy.
That is nice.
But yeah, and like,
that's not that much for like a TV star though.
Yeah, that's true. But so he buys this house and it's like haunted and stuff, and it's crazy. It was actually kind of scary to me.
Was it like real? Was there actually a possession there? Because I mean, we all know ghosts aren't real.
He did a crazy thing. he literally had himself boarded up in that house. An entire night, like, actually boarded up.
Just white people things.
And he boarded himself up in the house for a night, and, like, he had, like, cameras set up all around the house. And some crazy shit went down. Like, for, like, most of the night, he was just fine. No noises, no weird stuff. But then, like, I don't even know what happened. It was, like, a weird apparition, sort of. And it wasn't, like, because you couldn't really see it, like... Mm-hmm. So it didn't look like it would have been something that was faked. But then he suffered, like, an actual, like... And, like, he was, like... After this, like, thing popped, like, I started having, like, this crazy pain behind my eyes. And now he's got, like, a permanent eye condition.
What?
He has to wear, like, prism glasses in order to be able to see properly.
No.
And he's like, I could do corrective surgery, but that would risk me going entirely blind, so I'd rather not.
He should do it again.
And, like, a ton of the people that were involved with it, like... They had this dude come in, and he was like, he's not even like a ghost hunter or like a demonologist or any. He was like kind of like a skeptical kind of guy, and like he came and he was measuring like the magnetic fields and stuff like that, and like
he was like, oh, this shit's spooky.
Literally, like when he got back to the hotel, his ears started bleeding, and then like a week after, all of his organs started like failing.
What we gotta watch? Can we watch this for a movie Monday?
Sure. It's called Demon House. It was interesting to me.
I want to watch it.
It was like a big episode of Ghost Adventures. But it was uncensored, and it was cool. It was fun.
Because I've never been a fan of those ghost shows. I thought they were really
actually
lame.
creeped me out. I love them. It's my guilty pleasure, and Grace loves them too. I actually have a great idea for a gift if I could ever get a hold of Zach Bagans, the man from Ghost Adventures.
You're gonna buy her a ghost.
Yeah, sure. No, I was thinking about getting her like well, she doesn't really watch these episodes that much.
A hand job. From Zach Galifianakis. What did you say his name was?
Zach Bagans. I was gonna get like one of those little EVP recorders signed by him.
Why don't you just like have him? Why don't we just have him on the show?
I should. And we could talk about ghosts. I could tell him all my stories.
And I could just be like, ghosts aren't real. I just feel like an asshole the whole time.
Every single time he's like talking about an experience, you're just like, ghosts aren't real.
That would be so stupid.
Oh, anyways, this is a good episode.
That was a pretty good episode.
Good place to end.
All right.
Finish me.
Huh?
Stop trying to...
All right, bye everyone. Love you.
Subscribe. Thank you, person from 2 years in the future that I talked about.
Yeah. Clout